Welcome to Daily Market Briefing. I'm your finance reporter, here with the market setup, sector rotation, and the headlines that matter before the next session.
Welcome to your Daily Market Briefing for 2026-03-31. Today's market was shaped by stocks, bonds, and commodities. How global markets have traded the Iran war, CNBC. While the index tape stayed centered on SPX plus 2.91%, and leadership came from semiconductors, industrials. Here is the broad market snapshot. S&P 500, up 2.91%. Nasdaq 100, up 3.43%. Dow Jones, up 2.49%. Next, the ETF curve set shows where relative strength and weakness developed through the session. Leaders were technology plus 4.24%, gold plus 3.79%. Laggards were energy minus 1.13%, utilities minus 0.07%. Across global markets, the session leaned constructive globally, with most major regions holding up. Shanghai was one of the weakest pockets in the map, while Japan and Asia held up better than the rest. Stepping back, broad risk tone was strong, with SPX at plus 2.91% and NDX at plus 3.43%. Relative strength stayed with XLK, GLD, while XLE, XLU lagged the board. On the S&P 500 heat map, leaders were semiconductors, plus 6.09%, industrials, plus 3.27%. Laggards were energy, minus 1.13%, utilities, minus 0.07%. Fed thinking is still central to the tape, and releases like upcoming macro releases are being used to reprice the policy path. Firmer data would make it harder for the market to lean into quick easing hopes. Commodity action was split. Gold led while Brent lagged, so the move looked selective rather than broad-based. The index board leaned higher, with Nikkei carrying the weakest tone and Nasdaq holding up best. Mega-cap curves were mostly positive, which points to a broad tone move more than a single main story. Forex showed a risk-off currency tone, with the sharpest move in GBP/USD and the best relative strength in AUD/USD. Crypto remained constructive, which helps confirm the broader market risk tone. Bond curves suggest yields were mixed to lower, so rates still mattered for the session. The main focus stayed on leadership, stayed concentrated in semiconductors and industrials. The pressure point remained energy and utilities. Into the next session, the key checks are the next macro events, the path of yields, and whether leadership broadens or narrows. Traders should also watch whether stocks, bonds, and commodities. How global markets have traded the Iran war. CNBC keeps driving headline risk. That is the key takeaway for today's market. Broad risk tone was strong, with SPX at plus 2.91% and NDX at plus 3.43%. Relative strength stayed with XLK and GLD, while XLE and XLU lagged the board. Keep watching policy signals, index leadership, and the next macro catalysts. Today's finance headlines centered on geopolitical risk kept pressure on sentiment and energy. Here are the key points from the headline flow. Broad sentiment can turn quickly when macro headlines land late in the session,